Hey guys, Portia here, and today we're going to be doing a Q&A. All of the questions that I'll be answering come from comment sections of various videos. So I love to answer your guys' questions in the comments, but I thought about it. I'm like, well, if one person has this question, maybe another person does, and the best way to help like everybody is to do a video about it. So we're going to accomplish a couple of things with this video. I'm going to be answering questions. I'll share with you some of my experiences, and then also I'll be recommending products that I like to use, because that's also something that's like a general question. Hey Portia, what do you use for this? What do you use for that? Well, we can like kind of chip away at that and by getting it out the way in this video. So let's go ahead and get started. I got my little notebook here, and if you may notice that it's kind of like upside down because I sublimated on it upside down, and that's another story for another video. Anywho, let's jump right in. The first question comes from Corliss, and it is on the Cricut AutoPress. So Corliss says, I was really going to buy this machine until I saw a gentleman do a review. He used a heat gun that detects temperature and pointed it near the press. The reading was way off. He also took 4 strips of paper, sandwiched them on the corners, and then pulled the front pieces off. The pressure was not strong. The back 2 strips took a little bit more of a pull. I have learned that pressure, temperature, and time are a must. I want to ask, since it has been a while since you have used this machine, do you still recommend it? I would hate to waste the money. Well, Corliss, to answer your question is yes and no, because it depends on what you are pressing. So I'll give you an example. I have used the Cricut AutoPress to press things like t-shirt, canvas, hoodies with HTV and sublimation, and the heat distribution and the pressure were great. Now, on the other hand, for thicker items, I did not have success, so to speak. So I did a review pressing 5 different thicknesses on the Cricut AutoPress, and I did have varying results. So I did a canvas tote bag, and that came out perfect. Of course, that's flat. I did a tile slate, and I put on that tile slate a quote from Maya Angelou. I love her. Who doesn't, right? Anywho, it was a lot of ghosting on the edges, and I don't know if I didn't tape it down well or if it wasn't enough pressure. So that one was a disappointment. Also in that same video, I did a photo block. So it's a glass photo block, and it was like pretty thick, right? And I put a picture of the grandbaby on there. Yes, I do got a grandbaby, y'all. But I put a picture of her on there, and I was so disappointed when I pulled that the paper off, because it did not do well. And once again, I don't know if I didn't tape it down well enough. So if it was user error or it just was not enough pressure from the press, but I was so disappointed. But when it comes to like the tile slate, the glass block, I have had more success on my adjustable heat press. So Corliss, long story short, use a heat press with adjustable pressure, especially if you know you are going to be pressing on various thicknesses. You don't have to spend your money on the label, because at the end of the day, if you do get the heat press but you plan on doing, the Cricut AutoPress, and you plan on doing a lot more things than like say flatter things, you may find yourself getting frustrated. So don't be frustrated. Now, I do have a Amazon store, and I am going to link, I'll put the link in the description, but you'll be able to find all of those things in my Amazon store. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and move on. The next question comes from Sandra, and it is on the DTF Sublimation Hack. And Sandra says, can you please share your printer settings to avoid any printing streaks? So yes, Sandra, I can share my settings. I'm going to put the picture up right there. somewhere along here. It's going to appear for you. You can pause the video if you need to just scrutinize it a little bit more. But what I will tell you is I still get those streaks, aka pizza wheels. I do not get them on every single print. Don't know why. It's kind of spotty there, but I do get them, right? So I have found that in order to avoid them, you can move the wheels on your inkjet printer. But one thing I want you to remember is this is a hack. So because it is a hack, some things are just going to be happening that are unavoidable because it's a hack. So it's a cause and effect type thing. I do believe trying to move the wheels on your printer could get a little bit tedious. So what I do is I use a Q-tip. I take that Q-tip and I just erase those little pizza wheels, and it works out just fine. I do believe that because I'm only doing like one-offs, I don't do like multiples, and I don't do this for businesses or anything like that. That is sufficient. And again, it's a hack, so you're gonna run into some problems. You just got to figure it out from there. But yeah, using a Q-tip to erase the little lines will work out perfectly fine. Okay guys, and our next question comes from King Dino. And this is another question about the DTF Inkjet printer hack. And King Dino says, so my question is, I can just put the DTF transfer film into a regular inkjet printer with no software or anything required. Dino, yes you can. So all you gotta do is get your DTF powder and your DTF film, and you put that film in your regular inkjet printer and you go from there. I have a couple of videos showing the process and I'll link them in the description, but yeah, that's pretty much it. No special software required. So I do have two printers. So two inkjet printers. One is used strictly for inkjet ink. The other one is a converted Epson EcoTank, which I use for sublimation. So my inkjet ink printer is the Pixma IX6820, I believe. And then, like I said, the Epson EcoTank is for sublimation only. So I did try the hack with both inks, and I am totally pleased with the results. So I do use Yamation DTF powder and film, and it works well with both of the inks. I have actually no complaints at all. And once again, I will link those items in the description. You'll find them in my Amazon store. So Dino, that's wishes. Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and move on. Our last question comes from Deshante, and once again, this is on the Inkjet DTF hack. And he says, is there a difference between using a sublimation printer or an inkjet printer with this method, or will the results be the same? So yes, there is a difference, and the difference is longevity. So with sublimation ink, that ink is actually going to fuse into the fabrics, and with your sublimation 101, you are supposed to print on a polyester count of 60% or higher because it infuses into the fabric. On the other hand, the inkjet ink is pretty much, first and foremost, made to print on paper. With that being said, the DTF hack allows you to use DTF products to press on 100% cotton for sublimation, and then it allows you to press inkjet ink onto regular fabric. So I have done a wash test for both. Now I have a video doing a wash test for the sublimation, but I don't have a video for the regular inkjet ink because I wasn't thinking, y'all. But I have found that they both wash well, but I do believe, because the inkjet ink is made for paper, even though we've introduced the DTF powder to the ink, and of course it's going through a molecular process or whatnot, I have a feeling that the sublimation t-shirt is gonna last way longer. And I think I read somewhere it's like 50 washes. In my wash test, I've only washed either shirt a couple of times because, like, I don't wear them all the time, so I can't sit up here and be like, oh yeah, I've washed it 50 times. I'm not doing that. I'm just being honest. But yeah, both of them have held up in the 2 places that I was looking. So I was checking for color. The DTF Hack maintain the brightness of color. And then the other thing that I was looking for with either inks is, did the image flake off? And the answer is no. With the sublimation, it stayed nice and smooth. With the Inkjet ink, it stayed nice and smooth. But like I said, once again, just to reiterate, I suspect that the Inkjet ink will start to flake off way sooner than the sublimation ink. So yeah, guys, that is all I have for you today. Once again, I just want to share with you some of my experiences, answer some questions, and then also let you guys know that I do have recommendations for pretty much everything that I talk about. So if you got any questions, concerns, emotional outbursts, let me know. As you do know, I do look at the comment section and I do try to answer everybody. But guys, as always, until next time, peace.